Alright, YouTube, when something is claimed, I like a little bit more evidence than just a claim. So when I saw on 4chan that people were circulating images claiming that Ben Fischbein, he's connected to Correct the Record as well as certain other far-left social activism platforms, or I should say democratic partisan platforms. The far left basically doesn't exist anymore, and they're certainly not working for Hillary Clinton. Naturally, when I saw that people were claiming that his very name, Ben Fischbein, was a banned term, I said, well, maybe this is just an attempt to troll people. Maybe it's an attempt to get people to mention his name over and over, specifically so people like Google him. It'll be, spammed all around 4chan, and then all of a sudden, people know who's behind Correct the Record. They start harassing him or something like that. I figured maybe it was a fairly decent raid attempt. So I decided to test it for myself. And your one and only Styx Hexenhammer can confirm it's actually true, which is slightly concerning. Right now, of course, everyone's going to presume that that means 4chan has been bought off or compromised by CTR. It's possible. It's certainly possible. The other possibility is that this is someone's idea of a joke. That specifically what happened is something along the lines of a mod inserted it as a ban term, then started their own thread about how it was a ban term, specifically knowing that people would then try to plug it in, get banned, much to their sadistic delight. Things have happened on 4chan involving the mods and admins trolling before. It used to happen all the time on the random page. Every other month, they'd be playing some really, really stupid song in the background or some autoplay YouTube video or something like that would annoy people, or they'd have little animations crawling across the screen just to distract users. But it is honestly concerning. The other possibility is maybe it's the reverse of like CTR infiltration. Maybe the possibility remains that specifically it was inserted as a ban term so people would start looking for Ben Fischbein off of 4chan, then go after CTR, hit him even harder. The idea of actually inoculating, I guess, the 4chan user base. If this is the strategy, I predict it'll work fairly well. And if the strategy is to protect CTR, I can imagine this blowing up in their faces if that's the case. Because what's probably going to happen is that people then will assume that it's been compromised. They'll shitpost twice as hard. And then any actual CTR shills that are operative on 4chan will get their asses blasted. So I guess we've got that going for us. But I think probably people should be emailing 4chan's Hiroshimoot at the moment. They should probably be emailing and trying to find out what the fuck is going on. When you've got such a polarized political climate, if this is a joke, it's a fairly dangerous joke to make. Because when you've got millions of people who potentially are going to start shitposting and getting irate and thinking that the world is falling, that can cause some problems. So I would warn Hiroshimoot, it's not the funniest joke under the sun. Additionally, it's not going to stop anyone like me. You probably shouldn't plug this term into the comments unless you know how to ban jump. If you know how to ban jump, no problem, because it's not going to keep you from using 4chan. If you're like politically active there and you don't know ban jumping, it's fairly simple. You just log into your router, change your MAC address, and so forth. And that's basically the rudimentary way of doing it. That's what I do. It works just fine. I can get around. I used to do this on ICQ all the time. Sometimes I'd change my IP 4 or 5 times in a night just to keep harassing them more. So, I'm not going to get banned off of 4chan. My free speech is absolute because I take steps to make it absolute. I don't allow any arbitrary authority to tell me that I can't discuss certain things. I'll probably proceed to go and shitpost on 4chan about this, honestly. Whether or not it's a joke means absolutely nothing for me. All you do is reformat the way that you're posting it in, you're just fine, and you're good to go. So who gives a fuck? If they really do want to stamp out discussion of one of the digital heads of CTR, I don't think it's going to work very well for you. All you're going to do is piss off a fairly significant sum of your user base. 4chan's politically incorrect. It's one of the large boards now. It's not small like it may have been in the past. It's one of the main boards. I think it's got more users than the random page at this point. Random page used to be the biggest one. So it's very funny. But yeah, it has been. I confirmed it myself. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't. Now, you can confirm it for yourself if you want, but hopefully you know how to jump a ban. Change your IP address. If you don't have a static IP address, it's going to be fairly simple. You're using a router, whatever you happen to be using. You can Google it. On the ICQ Christianity blog, one of the earliest posts was about how to do this for the vast majority of users. It's really quite simple. Honestly, before I knew how to do that, I was kind of like, oh, well, I got banned for a month. I guess I'll have to wait a month to troll ICQ. Then I realized I could do this. I'm like, oh, what an idiot I was all that time. I could have been roasting them every single night, regardless of what they did. And that's really how ICQ ended up crumbling. But yeah, Ben Fischbein, apparently a startup social activist who's built some of his own platforms, now works for Correct the Record. Apparently his name is a ban term on 4chan. I think it's a 2-week ban. Very, very strange. Of course, for me it was a 2-minute ban, but that's a totally different story. That's about all. Peace out.